Madam Speaker, I rise this afternoon first to thank the gentleman and my friend from the 6th District of North Carolina, Congressman Mark Walker, for his leadership in our Republican House Conference, for his leadership in helping improve the lives of not just North Carolinians, but every American. And tonight, for organizing today's special order, the People's Night, #WithThePeople, on a night we'd hoped our President would be here as tradition requires to give the State of the Union. I want to thank those who are here tonight. We heard from Mr. Johnson, my colleagues who are speaking tonight on the issues that are so important to the American people, whether it's jobs, better wages, a stronger economy, more affordable and accessible health care, support and resources for our troops and veterans, securing our border, standing with Israel, or, as Mr. Johnson pointed out, protecting the lives of the innocent unborn. I'm proud to join you in this fight. So let's talk about the economy and jobs. We've seen such a dramatic difference the last 2 years. Remember, before that, the economy had struggled for more than a decade. Every expert in Washington was telling the American people, just get used to that. Get used to your paychecks being flat. Get used to jobs moving overseas. Get used to your kids coming out of school with fair to low opportunities. That's the new normal. Well, Republicans and President Trump believed there was a better future, a brighter future for America. So we went to work. And as a result, because of our commitment to lifting red tape off of our local small businesses and delivering the first overhaul of our tax code in more than 30 years, America is back. And American people are doing better because of it. So wages are rising the fastest in a decade. America's economy is growing the fastest in more than a decade, and unemployment is at one of the lowest levels in decades. We did this by working with President Trump to lift off more than $33 billion in red tape off our local businesses so they could hire again, so they could grow again. And then we tackled this terrible tax code that had been in place and put in place one that lowers taxes for all Americans, that helps small businesses grow and invest, that doubles the child tax credit, that doubles the standard deduction, and changes the dynamics so that jobs and investment come back to America rather than just be stranded overseas. And boy, what a difference it's making. Due to the Republican pro-growth policies, President Trump's tax cuts, our economy exceeded 3% growth over the past year. That never happened under our previous president. So much for that new normal of slow growth. More than 5 million jobs have been created since President Trump was elected, including more than 2.5 million since the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act was signed into law. And last week, our unemployment jobless claims were at a 50-year low. That is a 50-year best for that. The unemployment rate for African Americans fell to the lowest rate ever on record. Asian and Hispanic American, their unemployment rates are the best we've seen in decades. For those who are disabled, for those coming out of prison, for those without high school educations, with those who are teenagers, the job opportunities are the best they've seen in decades. The unemployment rate, in some cases, the best since we started recording it. And the group I watch the most, sort of the underdogs in every community, are those who didn't even get a chance to finish high school or a GED. They're always the first to be laid off, always the last to be rehired. Well, under this new economy, the unemployment for those without a high school degree is the best since America started recording it. So more people, our brothers and sisters in our communities and neighborhoods, have more job opportunities than they've seen in a long time. And their paychecks are going up as well, the fastest in more than a decade. And it had been stuck flat for so many Americans for so long, it just was hard for families to make ends meet. But now with higher paychecks and a tax cut for over 90% of American workers, families now have a budget that goes a little farther each week where they can invest in themselves and their American dream rather than in Washington's dream. Consumer confidence has soared. American manufacturing is back. In fact, the National Association of Manufacturers, their index has the highest annual growth in jobs in history over the past year. In fact, last year, manufacturing in America added almost 290,000 new jobs. Finally, small business optimism is through the roof. They're investing and hiring and growing again on main streets across America. This didn't happen by accident. Republicans, working closely with President Trump, decided there was a brighter future for America. We could get out of the doldrums, we could give people opportunities, we could boost their paycheck, and we could bring jobs back from overseas. That's what the difference of the last 2 years has made for America. And when the State of the Union is held, President Trump, from the dais behind me, can talk about the huge difference he's made in the American economy and what it means for working families and small businesses along Main Street. Mr. Walker, thank you again for your leadership. Thank you for organizing the People's Night, and I'm proud to be part of it. With that, I yield back.